Vanakkam. AI, artificial intelligence. It's being used everywhere, everyone is talking about it. But the question is, can it be used in birds? Because birds is so challenging in so many ways. Can we have a look? Artificial intelligence seems to be playing an important role in many fields of life. It also plays a role in burn management. As far as burn management is concerned, the main problems are the assessment of the depth of the burn, the assessment of the percentage of the burn area, then the different management protocols, and more importantly, predicting burn mortality. So the path ahead in burn management is quite interesting, but difficult and very challenging. So it seems obvious that our native intelligence may not be enough to solve all the problems in burn management, and we need to recruit the use of artificial intelligence also. That is because artificial intelligence seems to play a role in every single walk of life, including medical applications. Since I am going to talk about artificial intelligence in this video, instead of me, my artificial intelligence twin will be taking over. The use of artificial intelligence in medical applications is all okay, but is it possible to use AI in burns management? The happy answer is yes. When talking about the use of artificial intelligence in burns, let me give you a small intro. A study done in 2023 showed that the burn depth can be assessed by AI to an accuracy of 68.9% to 95.4%. The burn area assessment can be done with an accuracy of 76% to 99.4%, and more notably, burn related mortality can be predicted with an accuracy of 90% to 97.5%. That's amazing. But before we see more about this, let us first learn what is AI. When you drive your car, it takes you where you take it. So it is your intelligence that is working on the machine. But imagine a situation where you sit in your car and just tell it to go. It knows where you're going because you would go to a particular place at 8 o'clock in the morning, or you would go to a particular place at 5 o'clock in the evening, and you don't even have to worry about the traffic signals and traffic rules because it can follow all of them. That is artificial intelligence. And that is going to give us self-driving cars like the Tesla. But that is not all. Artificial intelligence is already working. For example, in recommendation systems on Netflix or YouTube, if you look at a particular video, it will keep suggesting other videos that are related. It is using its intelligence. Voice assistants like Siri and Alexa are also types of artificial intelligence. We have already seen autocorrect and spell check on Word documents much earlier, and these are also primitive forms of artificial intelligence. But how does a machine develop artificial intelligence, and how is it able to do all this? These machines are taught, or in other words, they learn by different methods. One is called supervised learning, where we give an example and tell it that this is a superficial burn, this is a deep burn, and it understands. Next is unsupervised learning, where you give the same pictures, it recognizes it. You give similar pictures and it recognizes that also. Then we come to a higher level, reinforced learning. You give more difficult pictures, it tries to correlate, sometimes it makes mistakes. For instance, if you show a picture of a partial thickness burn, it may say it is a full thickness burn. It is told that it is wrong. So now it reinforces it and then it says superficial burn. So now it has learned the difference between a superficial burn and a full thickness burn. What we saw is a very simple type of learning. There is a type of learning known as deep learning, which is a form of machine learning (ML) that studies data features using a multi-layered neural network. So you feed in data, that is the input, that is the first level of the neuron. Next, it goes through one or many layers of neurons called the hidden layers. And finally, you get the output, and that layer of neurons is called the output level. Obviously, this has caught the interest of surgeons all over the world. A study in 2021 showed the trend of artificial intelligence burn related publications on PubMed, and you can see how the graph is rising day by day, year by year. And most of these papers concentrated on the use of AI in the assessment of the burn depth. But that is not the only assessment. AI can be used in every single step of burns management, starting from the prevention, where we can identify those at increased risk of burn injury, in the primary burn management to assess the depth, to give a roadmap of the management type and the approximate time to heal. It can also play a role in the emergency management of burns, where it can calculate the total burn surface area, the morbidity or mortality risk, and the fluid resuscitation necessary for the patient. The perioperative management of burns, where AI can predict the risk of acute kidney injuries and the occurrence of antibiotic resistance, and even the post-op recovery, where AI helps in predicting surgical site infections and the use of virtual reality for pain management. Rehabilitation is a very important step in the management of the burn victim. AI helps to encourage the patient to follow rehabilitation measures and also can analyze patient reported outcomes following rehabilitation. Of these, we shall be talking about the three most important applications of artificial intelligence: assessing the total burn surface area, assessing the depth of the burn, and predicting the mortality. Burn area assessment is traditionally done by following the Lund and Browder chart or the Wallace's rule of 9. But a study in 2005 reported on the fallacies of these methods because of inter-observer variability. And it is also challenging to follow these protocols when faced with asymmetrical injuries. In 2023, in a study conducted from January 2016 to December 2020, 4,991 images of early burn wounds were fed into the computer and analyzed through artificial intelligence. So this actually consisted of two models. One, it would measure which are all the areas of the body that are involved by burns, and secondly, it would make a model for palm segmentation. That is, the size of the palm of the patient would be included so that the total area of burns can be analyzed by the computer. Pictures were taken in this pattern and analyzed by different methods of artificial intelligence like Deep Lab or UNet, and the surface area of the patient's palm was utilized to measure the total area of burn involvement. So, deep learning models could accurately assess the burn wound area and absolute burn area in square centimeters. Next, taking into account the body height, body weight, age, and gender, the body surface area could be estimated by the computer. And obviously, the percentage of total body surface area that has been burned is acquired by dividing these two numbers. Thus, AI could calculate the total burn area accurately so that the resuscitation can be better and we can avoid over resuscitation. The importance of burn depth assessment is not only for the surgical aspect where we need to excise these deep areas and resurface them with skin grafts as early as possible, but also in survival of the patient. For example, if a patient is seen with 80% burns and we come to know that 20% is first degree burn, 30% is second degree burn, and only 30% is third degree burn, managing this 30% burn will take priority, and that can help in increasing the survival. Right now, the assessment of the burn depth is done by evaluation, that is, depending on the color and the other features of the burn wound. But a study in 2022 showed that clinical assessment of burn depth by even the most experienced burn surgeons has reported an accuracy of only 60 to 75% for mixed depth burns. So then came laser Doppler imaging for assessing the burn depth. It was found to have a sensitivity of 91% and up to 96% accuracy. But the problems were limited availability and high costs. In a study done in 2025, 144 patients were screened from 2021 to 2023. Here, artificial intelligence guided image assessment of the burn depth was compared to current methods of burn assessment. The results showed that the agreement was very poor between clinical and laser Doppler imaging assessments, which showed that the clinical assessments were not very reliable. It also showed that there was poor agreement even between clinical and artificial intelligence assessments, which showed that they were not correlating at all. But artificial intelligence assessment and laser Doppler imaging assessments had a fair amount of agreement, almost to the tune of 66%. So artificial intelligence showed a comparable accuracy in assessing burn depth to that of laser Doppler imaging. And the advantages of AI are that it is inexpensive and easy to use. Burn mortality prediction is very difficult in burns because there are so many parameters involved. The BAW score that is used commonly is calculated by adding the age in number of years and the burned area in percentage of total body surface area. The revised BAW score, which tried to include inhalation burn also into the scoring system, added 17 points if inhalation burns were present. Traditionally, this has been the easy method of evaluating mortality prediction. The higher the score, the more the risk of mortality. Other scores like the predictive capacity of the American Society of Anesthesiologists physical status, that is the ASAPS, or the BMI scoring system have also been used, but they are not infallible. A study done in 2023 on a total of 384 burn inpatients over a period of 10 years, of which 224 cases were analyzed by keying in four types of information regarding each single patient. The basic information, that is the gender, age, body mass index, smoking history, and whether escharotomy was done. The burn data, where the burn surface area, the burn site, whether perineum or extremities was also added. Lab information like the white blood cell count, the hemoglobin counts, the creatinine counts and the SGPT values, and the comorbid conditions for the patient like diabetes, chronic kidney disease, coronary artery disease or hypertension were keyed in. The final analysis of mortality prediction with all these factors taken into account was compared to three groups of patients. Patients who needed a skin graft, patients who had adverse reactions like kidney disease, and patients who needed a hospital stay of more than 14 days. In the group of patients who required a skin graft, it was seen that the percentage of burn area was most important, followed by the WBC count, which contributed to predicting burn mortality. Among the group of patients who had adverse reactions, the commonest contributing factor was the burned surface area, and secondly, it was the BMI that contributed, and thirdly, it was the creatinine level that seemed to contribute to the burn mortality. Among the patients who had a hospital stay of more than 14 days, again, The burn surface area ranked first, followed by the WBC count, and thirdly, it was the age that also played a role in predicting mortality in these patients. So, as far as the use of artificial intelligence in burn mortality prediction is concerned, it has a high predictive value and it seamlessly integrates a web-based predictive application into the existing hospital information system. So now, summing up, the four uses of AI in burns are in enhancing diagnostic accuracy, in revolutionizing the treatment planning and management, in advancing wound healing and monitoring, and finally, improving accessibility and standardizing care. To conclude, the answer to the question that is on everybody's mind: will AI replace doctors, especially in burn management? We need to remember that artificial intelligence is nothing but human intelligence that has been magnified, and nothing can replace the clinical acumen, passionate work, and empathy shown by the doctor in management of burns.